Greetings, friends! I'm going to be doing a 5-part series here of the remaining trials I had to take care of when I got my PS5. I'll be uploading one a day this week until they're all uploaded. Here's what to expect from these videos and what exactly I'm trying to do with them. Firstly, I'm not going to be cutting any of my failures out. I want to show you all that these actually can take quite a few tries to complete each one. Though there is going to be a lot of fast forwarding, and there are going to be some cuts, but that doesn't mean that I have edited out any of my failures. With that being said, the main purpose of why I'm making these into a series is, I'd like to show you all the tactics that I've tried during these. My hope is that I'll be able to help some of you, hopefully all of you, get over that just barely missing it point by trying some of the methods that I use. And lastly, I'm mainly doing this for educational purposes, though I am going to be trying my best to make it as entertaining as possible simultaneously. But enough of this intro, let's get into it. So the first tip I have here is, being that you have to rely on RNG since they've given you dual-wield pistols for this trial, is to crouch when you take your shots. Doing so will draw in that RNG just a little bit. Now, keep in mind that this will reduce your overall speed. And furthermore, you most certainly can complete this trial without doing the crouch method. However, you still need to get 10 headshots to complete this trial, so it just helps just a little bit to do so. Another thing to keep in mind is you're able to simply outrun the swarm of bees the hives send after you. However, you must choose the correct path. I did not for this attempt, unfortunately. After a few attempts, I've concluded it's tremendously more efficient to either slap or shoot the bear traps. And don't fret about making any mistakes. You can always retry the trials, after all. Just be wary of where you try to drop down from, because any sort of damage, including falling damage, will fail your hard requisites for this challenge. And unfortunately, I failed this run because, as I said before, that swarm just took too much time out of this run since I chose the incorrect path. Another thing is, don't worry about shooting every single hive in the head on this run. There are more than 10 on this trial. You can brute force them if it means saving the run. Unfortunately here, I get spotted by the hive on top of the catwalk, so I decide just to abort it because I would have lost too much time. It's the same story here with the swarm chasing me, but another tip that I have is don't forget that you do have a sparing amount of ammo on this trial. On past attempts before I got the PS5, I have run out a few times. Back to what I said before, outrunning the swarm, as long as you choose the correct path, it doesn't matter if you are being chased. And here I get the lucky draw on the RNG. I don't want you to feel like you should rely on the RNG, however, but with that said, sometimes that little bit of luck can draw you right over that edge of completion and failing the trial on hard. Another thing to keep in mind is something that comes with time and just practice. It's the threshold on when the hive actually notices you from your movement and sound. For instance, I'm able to get semi-close to these hives by just walking before they actually scream and send out their bees. Just really helps draw in that RNG shot when you get closer.
Of course, we're good.
It was a little hard to make me out there, but I had said, just complete the course and we're good. What I just did there was a very unnecessary risk. I almost threw the trial away. I could have just kept running, outrunning the swarm. And with 6 attempts, I finally complete this trial, leaving me ready for the next one. So, the idea that I had going into this trial was to shoot the yellow barrels, then while the oil burns dry, I wanted to keep killing the grunts and hives, keeping them away from that fire until it is no longer a threat. This, however, became very tedious, so I just settled on taking the risk of shooting the immolators in the head once I've cleared out any grunts in the surrounding area of the immolator that I'm currently targeting. If you time it perfectly, once you shoot the immolator in the head, they'll pop up basically around the same area that you took your first headshot. And it's extremely critical to land the second headshot on your first attempt. Otherwise, they'll just run around on fire, allowing for the opportunity to fail the trial by enemies taking fire damage. I slowed it down. Just as an example, I shot him in the head even though the barrel was there, because sometimes you just have to take the opportunity with the way the immolators are. I then blind fire into the explosion because I know just right around where his head's going to be, causing him to get knocked out with a headshot. You only need 2 headshots on the immolators to win this trial. Here I'm not even trying to go for a headshot, I'm just doing my best to keep them away from that fire. No! Here, I get worried because I can see the grunts going towards the fire, and I have to do everything in my power to stop that.
I swear, dude, every fucking time.
Even I get frustrated at these trials. I mean, they are very tedious. This is actually the trial that I dreaded doing most because it is just so frustrating getting the immolators to sit still long enough for you to get that shot out on the second hit. Fortunately, however, this immolator did sit still long enough for me to get that second hit. Well, there's not much more to add to this trial as far as tips. It took me a couple more tries than the first one, and as I said in the first trial, I'm including all of my failures just to show you how tedious these trials can be. Just because you may be having a hard time with it, doesn't mean that it's just you. With that being said, I won't be adding any more voiceovers until my final attempt, which you can either skip to 13 minutes in using the slider, or you can just use the timestamp I've included in the description for you all.
I thought that was a grunt.
A quick recap on my chosen method. Pick off the surrounding grunts so they respawn away from the immolator that you're going to target, and after the area is cleared, you shoot that immolator in the head, and once his explosion animation finishes, his head will pop up around the same spot you first headshot them. You gotta try your best to land that second headshot, otherwise he can run into grunts, causing you to fail this trial due to fire deaths. And lastly, keep all the grunts away from any burning barrels caught in the crossfire.
Oh my god, dude, please. Yes! Oh my god, that was the hardest one for me, honestly. Like... Okay. Cool.
For this trial, there's room for a lot of error. This one took me a decent amount of tries, mainly because of the grunts just showing up at the worst possible times. There were, however, a couple of variants that made me fail. But basically, the concept for this trial is to shred your way through the meatheads. You're given a Winfield switch for this trial, along with levering. This means you're able to rapid fire this lever action rifle, and on top of that, you're able to reload not just one bullet, not 2 bullets, not even just 3 bullets, but 7 bullets at a time, because of it being the Swift variant of the Winfield rifle. Oh, and don't forget, you're given several ammo crates around the map, so you'll never have to worry about running out of ammunition, so long as you're vigilant with collecting them as you reload, or even passing by them. The biggest thing to worry about in this trial are really just the grunts. They seem to spawn right around you at the worst possible times. Other times they'll congregate up in certain areas such as gates or behind the buildings. Then you'll have to deal with many waves of grunts along with that meathead simultaneously. You are, however, given a few poison smoke bombs, which can be used for zoning the grunts, and sure, you could use these on the meatheads as well, and so long as they're in that cloud they're taking damage. However, it's not too efficient being that you have a time limit. I find it's best to place one at the end of the fence by the pull-up gates, then just use the fence to vault over when you're being chased by grunts. Another one to the left of the slide open gates in the very beginning, and then just kind of leave the rest for where they seem to be favoring. The second biggest thing, for me at least, the red barrels chain exploding on one another. I had a couple of times where I was super close to completing this trial had they not gotten me in their radius. Another quick tip I have is once you shoot a meathead, they'll attack towards the direction they've been hit. This can draw them into the red barrels.
Ah! Oh! Oh, come, dude, what? Where was that? Right here. Oh, gate's open this time. Rip. Towards the cloud, towards the cloud, towards the cloud. Run! Run! Okay, alarm, you need to stop right now. Holy shit. Okay, Leech, you need to stop. Oh my god, please, just leave me alone. What am I doing to you? I just want to take back my farm and just grow my crops and raise my cattle in peace, but no. Shoot that. Wish that fire would extinguish. You. God damn it. Oh, I almost did it again. No! Where? 30 seconds. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. No, you son of a bitch! That sounded further away. It's like, ah! I have one more to go. Ah! Come on, dude! I pressed L3 so many times. Please. Fuck off with the leeches. Didn't expect that to blow up right away. My fault. Ah! Okay. Getting too much in the spirit of just being fast. I need to observe my surroundings. Oh my god, no souls. Dude, no! This is it! This is it! This is it! Don't you dare touch me!
Well, there you have it. The trials not all for show. Fool's Honor and A Corpse for a Corpse have all been completed in this video. These have been draining to do, to say the least. Not all for show and Fool's Honor were the ones I hated doing the most, just because of how many opportunities RNG is there, allowing for random failure. But hey, I got them done. I'll be doing Out of Their Misery, The Mother of Taking Chances, and Virtue Meets Brute Force in the next video. I truly hope that this will help you all complete the trials on your own playthroughs. That is, after all, the purpose of these videos. And I also hope to have earned your subscription today. But take care of yourselves, friends. The world is a very treacherous place. Until next time.